And I'd like you to celebrate yourself for making this occasion. It's the maiden episode, and we hope to have more of this, like we heard Architect Apeh say in his opening speech. While Goodness was speaking, what struck my mind the most was the subject of apprenticeship. And having done professional photography in this town for 10 years, I can tell you something. Turnaround always come for many businesses when they venture into apprenticeship. And of course, I'm a pastor and I'm also presenting God in the marketplace. So I'm at liberty this morning to share some business and entrepreneurship secrets with you today from the scriptures. They have worked for me and they're going to work for you. So I titled this short session that I'm having with you, 5 entrepreneurship lessons from the story of Jacob and Laban. 5 entrepreneurship lessons from the story of Jacob and Laban. Number 1, which I've already started saying, it is not advisable to begin any business without apprenticeship. You need to write this down and note it properly. It is not advisable to begin any business without apprenticeship. I have a quote that says, going into a business without apprenticeship is a risk not worth taking. Going into business without apprenticeship is a risk not worth taking. At whatever level you are today in your business output, I want to assure you that your output can be better if you submit for apprenticeship. Right? I ventured into professional photography in 2013. I was inspired to go into photography during my master's coursework at the Benue State University in 2006. So we took this course called Advanced Photojournalism. And in the course of that course, we had to go and understudy a professional photographer in town, one of the best at that time. And in the course of our practical sessions, the man encouraged all of us to take photography seriously. So I took photography seriously. And in 2013, with the help of my family members, I got my first digital camera and I ventured into professional photography. But you know what? From 2013 to 2016, all I had was just few customers and little change coming by. Until 2016, when I took a bold step and a bold initiative to go and pay money and register under one of the best photographers in Benue State at that time. And I'm not ashamed to say that, I'm not afraid to say this. He was the best photographer in town at that time. He received many awards certifying him in that category. My boss, James Photography. And I paid him some money and I went and learned under him for about 6 months. The moment I was done from his studio and I came out, the first wedding job that I did, I was taken by a couple to go to Suleja to cover the traditional wedding. That job, the moment I came out, I began applying the lessons I had learned while I was under apprenticeship at James Photography. And one of it is having a strong social media presence. So the moment I came back from that job at Suleja, I edited the pictures, my latest editing skills that I just received, and then I uploaded the pictures online. Few moments after then, someone reached out to me on Facebook Messenger. Okay, no, she commented and requested for the number of the photographer. Well, people were hailing the pictures and were congratulating the couple that they were traditionally married. This person was attracted to the quality of pictures. And then she reached out to me and asked what it would take for me to come down to Kaduna and cover her wedding. And long story cut short, I got the job. That was one of the biggest wedding jobs I ever got to do. The money was huge, like 6 figures. When I got there for the wedding, when I was covering the bridal makeup, the lady was telling the story of the events that transpired before I got the job. She's a committed member of our church. And her priest told her, why do you have to go all the way to Makurdi to bring somebody to come and cover your wedding here in Kaduna when we have people that we can give to you? She told them, I have seen this young man's job. And when the pressure was much, I didn't know. I remember at some point she took some of her court pictures that were taken by a photographer there in Kaduna and sent some of them to me to edit. And when I was done, I sent them back to her. I didn't know that was what secured the wedding finally, the wedding contract for me. She said when the pressure was much, she wanted to convince her priest and convince her family members that this man was the best man for the job. So that was one of the biggest studios in Kaduna. They did the job and they edited the pictures. And when I edited my own pictures that I didn't take, I only edited. When I sent them back, she now forwarded the pictures to all the stakeholders that were pressurizing and said, look at it. So at that point, they said, we have nothing to say again. Let him come over. That's what excellence does when you submit to apprenticeship. Whatever you are doing now can be better if you go and pay somebody money to learn as an apprentice. And that's the story of goodness. She has said, gave many instances how she keeps paying money to go and learn from somebody to become a better version of her service delivery. All right, so that's the first point. It is not advisable to begin any business without apprenticeship. Number 2, be ready to pay money in order to get the best of apprenticeship, online or on site. Yes, be ready to pay money in order to get the best of apprenticeship, online or on site. At this point, let me give a word of advice for those of you who may be benefiting from one form of free training or the other. I want to say to you, you will never get the best from free courses. You will just scratch the surface. If I were you, after the duration of the free training is over, I would approach my coach and say, okay, now I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to have learned something from you free of charge. What would it take for me to know something more than what you have given here? I am willing to pay in order to go deeper than where I am at now. The coaches are always very delighted when we see people who understand that beyond free of charge things, there is need to pay for something more quality. So I want to say to you, if all you've been enjoying are free trainings, your coach might not have gone to the depth that you will need in order to become an excellent person in your area of delivery. So be ready to pay money in order to get the best of apprenticeship, online or on-site. I give you my second story. One of those moments, of course, I had many bosses and I had many people I was learning photography from. One of those other moments that was very striking. I got resources and I was able to upgrade my gadgets. I got a 50mm lens or prime lens. In photography, if you are doing photography and you want your picture quality to step up, you need that lens. You don't zoom it, just 50mm, but the output of that lens cannot be compared to what an 18 to 104mm lens will give to it. So when I bought it, there was the young man that I was also understudying. I was struggling to learn how to use the lens. It wasn't giving me the best with my Tngt camera at that time. So I went to meet him and asked him to put me through. He was going for a photo shoot, an external photo shoot. So I went with him. He took the lens and used it. He didn't know how to use it. And he didn't know how to tell me he didn't know how to use it. So he told me the lens is not compatible with your camera. Now instead of getting discouraged, I now took the bull by the horn and then went online and followed a few top photographers around the world. And I began to zoom into their teachings on the use of 50mm. Then I found out that young man who told me that the lens was not compatible with my camera didn't know how to use the lens and he didn't know how to say it. By the time I was able to solve that mystery and I started taking shots with that 50mm lens, my picture quality went to another level. So there are many things that even your on-site tutor may not know. But of course, everything is online. And of course, now that AI has stepped in, it makes everything easy. You could just ask simple questions and AI will give you enough answers to solve the mysteries. So invest in apprenticeship online and on-site. Then number 3, from Genesis chapter 30, verse 25, the story of Jacob and Laban. And it came to pass, when Rachel had born Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away, that I may go into my own place and to my own country. Jacob, an apprentice of Laban, said to him, send me away, that I may go into my own place and my own country. The third lesson here is that apprentices are supposed to grow to the point where they should be sent forth to their own place. This one now is for bosses and CEOs. Don't keep apprentices for too long. It is not the destiny of apprentices to stay with you forever. You need to understand this so that you can know when to release apprentices. When apprentices overstay under you, they could become problematic. Right? So when you start training people, train them with the mindset that you should bring out the best of them, and when they leave, they should become your representatives. They should become ambassadors and tell your story better. Today I'm mentioning James photography today because he took time to train me within the short time I was there. We're many that learned under him, and we're all doing well today. My friends Isaac, other photography, Big Solo, Blessed photography, we're all together at about the same time learning photography under him. Oh, big names today in photography. He took time to train us, right? And he knew that we're not going to stay long, and he released us on time. So just in case you are also a boss today, you have apprentices under you, train them with the mindset that they may not be staying with you for too long. Only few, if at all they will exist, are meant to stay with you for a very long time. Point number 4. And this one now is to you again, who is an apprentice learning under someone. Genesis chapter 30, verses 27 and 28. And Laban said unto him, that's Jacob, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake. And he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. So this next point, as an apprentice, add so much value to your boss that he or she would gladly send you forth when the time is due. Add so much value to your boss that when it is time to leave, they would plead to have more time with you. Add so much value to your boss that they will be in a hurry to give you something notable when you are leaving them. So do the extras, like Buddha said, coming early to sweep. Those are the extras, right? She was not brought into do all of that, but she did something extra. And then her bosses always sent her forth with powerful packages. And then finally, Genesis 30, verses 31 to 43. The ultimate goal for every apprentice should be to own your means of production. Jacob was an apprentice under Laban, and he got to a point where they had to strike a deal. He was bringing in something for Laban, but at some point he wanted to also have his own livestock where he would have resources directly to himself. So you can start. It's not bad to start working for somebody and helping the person make money. But your final destination as an apprentice is that you should get to that point where you own your own means, your own means of production, your own resources. So serve diligently, learn all that you can learn, and trust that you will get to that point where you will be settled by your boss with something that can help you also own your own means of production. When you own your own means of production, there is no limit to what you can make, because one job or one contract could make all the difference. I hope to see you at the top.